From sun-kissed shores to dusty plains, this is a story of displacement, of lives uprooted and futures uncertain. It's a story that doesn't belong to a dystopian novel, but is unfolding right now across our planet. Welcome back. It's me, and this is our channel. Today, let's talk about an alarming trend that's gaining momentum: climate migration. We'll delve into its causes, consequences, and the daunting challenges it poses for our world. Ready? Let's dive in. The silent tsunami. Rising sea levels. The oceans are on the rise, inching closer to the lands that hug their embrace. For the low-lying island nations, this silent tsunami poses a grave threat. Take, for instance, the Republic of Kiribati, an archipelago nestled in the Indian Ocean. As sea levels ascend, these idyllic islands inch closer to becoming uninhabitable. The saltwater intrusion into freshwater reserves contaminates vital water sources, affecting the very essence of human sustenance. In fact, the World Bank estimates that by 2050, sea level rise could submerge nearly half of Kiribati's landmass, displacing thousands of its inhabitants. So imagine being forced to leave the only home you've ever known, to abandon the land and the culture that has defined generations, all because the very waters that once cradled your existence are now threatening to engulf it. That's the harsh reality that confronts many living in the shadow of rising tides. In Tuvalu, another island nation grappling with this silent menace, the highest point of land is just 4.5 meters above sea level. By 2050, this paradise could be permanently inundated, forcing its citizens to migrate. Faced with this stark choice between staying and perishing or leaving and starting anew, these communities are making a stand. They're charting new courses, seeking havens far and wide, even if it means parting ways with the ancestral lands that have been their home for ages. A parched earth, the grip of drought. The relentless grip of drought also paints a grim picture of climate migration. The Sahel region of Africa, stretching from Senegal to Eritrea, is a prime example of how desertification drives people from their homes. Overgrazing and the Sahara, expanding southward, are turning fertile lands into arid wastelands. In Nigeria, for instance, over 7.6 million people face displacement due to desertification and increasing temperatures. Now picture a vast expanse of land that was once teeming with life, grazing lands for cattle and fields that yielded bountiful harvests. But now, under the relentless assault of drought, this landscape is transformed into a parched and unforgiving terrain, forcing those who depend on it to abandon their homes and seek refuge elsewhere. Floods and rising waters. Deluge and despair. Floods are another devastating force shaping the contours of climate migration. South and Southeast Asia are on the front line, bearing the brunt of these watery upheavals. Millions are affected by the annual monsoon floods in Bangladesh, India, and Nepal, leading to widespread displacement. For instance, in Bangladesh, an estimated 1.3 million people are internally displaced due to flooding in 2020 alone. The mighty Brahmaputra River, which once nourished the lands, is now causing widespread devastation, turning homes into islands and lives into voyages of uncertainty. Imagine waking up to your world turned upside down. Your home, once a sanctuary, is now submerged, forcing you to abandon everything familiar and venture into the unknown. This is the harsh reality confronting countless individuals in regions grappling with unprecedented floods. As water levels rise, so does the desperation, compelling people to flee their homes and seek solace in unfamiliar territories. Bangladesh, a low-lying delta nation. The perfect storm. Bangladesh sits precariously on the delta of the mighty Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna rivers. With 70% of its landmass lying just 6 meters above sea level, it's uniquely positioned to face the dual threats of both sea level rise and riverine flooding. The Ganges, often called the lifeline of India, flows through 5 Indian states and then spills its waters into Bangladesh, impacting its course and causing unpredictable floods. Bangladesh grapples with 2 distinct yet interconnected challenges. Firstly, the unrelenting onslaught of tropical cyclones that strike its coastal regions with fierce winds and torrential rains. Secondly, the Brahmaputra River's changing course, which causes devastating floods and soil erosion. These forces displace countless Bangladeshis, particularly in the northern regions where the Teesta and Brahmaputra rivers converge. When the monsoon arrives, these rivers swell, transforming into raging torrents that overflow their banks, inundating vast stretches of land. Homes are lost to the deluge, crops wither, and entire communities are forced to abandon their land and seek refuge in overcrowded camps or in the cities. Some 8.6 million people were internally displaced due to flooding in 2020 alone. On the edge, island nations on the brink. Tuvalu, a tiny island nation nestled in the Indian Ocean, faces an existential threat. Its highest point is just 4.5 meters above sea level. Climate Central predicts that by 2050, sea level rise will likely submerge this paradise. This implies that most of Tuvalu's landmass will be inundated, forcing its citizens to migrate. Tuvalu stands as a potent symbol of the vulnerability of low-lying island nations. The people of Tuvalu have a deep connection to their homeland. The thought of leaving is heartbreaking, yet the reality of rising waters might force their hands. They are exploring options such as purchasing land elsewhere to resettle their people, a testament to their resilience and determination to survive. Kiribati, scattered across the horizon. The Republic of Kiribati, an archipelago scattered across the horizon of the Indian Ocean, faces a similar predicament. As sea levels climb, Kiribati's 33 stunning islands become increasingly vulnerable. The contamination of freshwater reserves by encroaching saltwater poses a dire threat. If left unchecked, this could render Kiribati uninhabitable within a few decades. Currently, Kiribati is already taking action. They're buying land in Fiji to relocate their citizens, a proactive step to secure their future. This foresight, however, comes at a hefty price, both financially and emotionally. It raises profound questions about the cost of climate inaction and the strength it takes to leave one's homeland behind. A collaborative endeavor. Global cooperation is paramount. As we navigate the complexities of climate migration, it's crucial to recognize the role of international cooperation. The plight of climate migrants transcends national borders, demanding a united global response. Developed nations, with their historical contributions to greenhouse gas emissions, bear a moral obligation to assist vulnerable nations in adapting to the changing climate. Financial aid, technological support, and climate-friendly policies are essential to mitigate the impacts of climate change and reduce the drivers of displacement. Moreover, reforming international law to recognize climate-induced displacement as a legitimate basis for asylum is paramount. Guiding principles. Ensuring safe and dignified journeys. The journeys of climate migrants are fraught with perils. Uprooting oneself from the familiarity of home to traverse uncharted territories in search of safety and a better life is an arduous undertaking. It's essential to ensure that these journeys are as safe and dignified as possible. Establishing clear pathways for climate refugees, streamlining asylum processes, and providing legal counsel are critical steps in protecting their rights. Furthermore, fostering intercultural dialogue and understanding can help alleviate the social and cultural challenges faced by climate migrants, creating a more inclusive and empathetic global community. Education and awareness. Empowering minds for action. Education and awareness play a pivotal role in addressing climate migration. By fostering environmental literacy, we can empower individuals to make informed choices and take action to protect the planet. Educating policymakers about the intricate link between climate change and displacement can lead to more effective policies and resource allocation. Raising public awareness through campaigns and initiatives can galvanize communities to support climate migrants and advocate for their rights. Preserving cultural heritage. Honoring identity in the face of change. Preserving cultural heritage is vital for the well-being of climate migrants. When communities are uprooted, their traditions, languages, and cultural practices are also at risk. Encouraging cultural exchange programs and creating platforms for sharing stories can help preserve these invaluable aspects of identity. Supporting cultural institutions and heritage sites in vulnerable regions can ensure that cultural treasures are protected and transmitted to future generations. Recognizing and respecting cultural diversity can foster a sense of belonging and continuity for climate migrants in their new environments. The human element. Stories of resilience and hope. Amidst the sobering realities of climate migration, it's essential to highlight the indomitable spirit of those who are experiencing these challenges firsthand. Their stories of resilience, adaptation, and hope serve as powerful reminders of the human element at the heart of this issue. From the indigenous communities in the Pacific Islands to the farmers in the Sahel region, each individual has a unique tale to tell. These narratives not only showcase the struggles they face, but also the innovative ways they are adapting to their changing environments and preserving their cultural heritage. Celebrating their resilience and amplifying their voices is crucial in shaping a more compassionate and sustainable future for all. As we conclude this journey through the complex world of climate migration, let's remember that behind every statistic, there's a story waiting to be heard. The quiet desperation of a mother watching her island home succumb to the rising tides, or the haunting sight of a farmer's parched fields that once nurtured generations of his family. These are not just stories of displacement, but tales of resilience, courage, and the unwavering spirit of humanity. The challenge before us is immense, but with collective action, unwavering determination, and a shared commitment to justice, we can pave the way for a better future. A future where communities are empowered to stay on their ancestral lands, where their cultures are celebrated, and where their voices are amplified on the global stage. It's a future worth fighting for. What are your thoughts? Feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, stay curious, keep asking questions. Together, we can make a difference. See you soon. Stay intrigued.